Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Meet Praneet. In today's video, we are going to discuss a very important topic. So I have taken out some data from USCIS and we will use that data to trace retrogression. And we will do this from year 2015 to 2021. So I hope you will find this video very useful and it's a very interesting video. So watch it till the very end. Before starting today's video, I want to mention and thank all of you who are watching the channel, who are watching the videos and appreciating the effort. However, still only 8% of the people who watch these videos subscribe to the channel. So if you're liking the content, please hit the subscribe button and consider subscribing to the channel. That would really help me, motivate me, and also motivate me to make more informational content for you. Now let's dive back into the content. So today what I have done is I have went back into DHS website and I have taken the profiles of permanent residents for the country India. And what we have done is I have went through the data and tried to find out how many green cards were approved for Indian citizens from 2015 till 2021. And specifically, we will watch the numbers for employment-based category. And I've done this using a simple R script. So I downloaded all the data, I wrote a R script to parse it through. So hopefully this would be a very informational content for you. So a table would be on your screen, and if you look at that table, that is basically telling us that from year 2015 till year 2021, how many total green cards were approved for Indian citizens and how many of them were employment based, right? So specifically in today's video, we are only look at the numbers for India. If you're interested in the other, in the numbers from other countries, please drop in the comments and I will make sure that I'll go back and make a video for other countries like for example, Mexico, China, and so on. But today we'll only focus on India. So as you can see that on an average from year 2015 till 2021, around 60,000 total green cards were approved. When I say total green cards, that includes multiple categories. For example, employment-based, it includes relatives of US citizens. It also includes family-based and all the other categories that USCIS uses for giving out green cards. And if you look at the employment-based column, it tells us that around 30,000 on average green cards were approved from year 2015 till 2021. And one highlight of this table is that in year 2021, around 93,000 green cards were given to Indians. And out of that, 75,000, that's almost 80% or more than 80% green cards were given or approved for the employment based. So that clearly tells us, and looking at the data, it clearly tells us that most of the Indians apply in the category employment based, and that's where most of the green cards are also given by USCIS to Indian citizens. Now, one of the other highlights that you would see from this table right away, and I have discussed this particular thing of spillover from EB2 row into the most retrogressed country. And if you go back and look at those videos, I'll put a link in the description and it might be also popping up somewhere on the top. So if you go and look at that video where I have shown how the spillover works, right? And how retrogression is basically can be taken care of using those spillovers. So you can clearly see that in total, if you look at the numbers, like if we just talk about the employment-based numbers, if you take the 140,000 green cards in employment-based and take out 7% of it, and then 28.6 will go to EB1, 28.6 will go to EB2, and 28.6 will go to EB3. If you just take those numbers, it comes to only 10,000 or so green cards, right? Or maybe less than that. So, and we are in employment base seeing that more than 27,000 or 30,000 green cards are given. So that clearly shows that there is a spillover that comes into account or comes into effect from EB2 row. And that's why the caution or the concern that came up in the November visa bulletin when USCIS said that, well, we might want to have a final election date on the EB2 row, and which could be a problem because that means there is a lot of demand of EB2 in that category. And if that happens, the spillover might be just completely gone, which comes to these most retrogressed countries. So that is a caution or that's a concern. But again, those things are not still clear. USCIS still is working on the numbers. I think it will not be clear until we are later in the next year. For example, probably April, May, then we'll have more clear picture of how things are evolving. But coming back to this topic of today's. So one other thing that I wanted to show is, let's say we create a situation, a hypothetical situation. And what we want to do in this situation is, we'll say that till 2015, all the people who applied got their green cards, right? I'm just assuming that fact. And then what we'll do is, We know from the fact that around 65,000 H1Bs are given out each year. Again, taking a number, and let's say out of those 60,000 are Indians, right? So 65,000 H1Bs are given, 60,000 are Indians, and let's say all those 60,000 H1B holders are applying for green card. So now we will use a concept of arithmetic progression. And what we will do is, we know that there are 60,000 applicants who are applying in the employment-based category every year from 2015 till 2021. Now, what does it tell us? That if you use AP or arithmetic progression, the formula is very simple. You start with number which is 60,000, and then you add the number of times you want to, number of years that they're in, and the difference in each year. And we will assume that each year only 60,000 people are eligible, to make the calculation simple and more easy to understand. So if you look at that number, so if you look at the equation, that would be 60,000 plus 6 into 60,000, that's 2015 to 2021. Now that number comes to 420,000 people, right? So that means 420,000 people or Indians applied for green cards in employment-based category. And that could be EB1, EB2 or EB3, right? Now let's say on an average, we have seen that around 30,000 or maybe 25,000 to 30,000 green cards are given in EB category in each year, right? So again, we'll use the arithmetic progression and we'll say that each year only 30,000 green cards are given, and let's take out the numbers for that category. And to that, we'll also add 45,000 because in 2021 that was an exception and we got extra 45,000 green cards to the Indians. So if you look at that equation and that number, so if we add 30,000 in plus 6 into 30,000, that's our first set, and then we add 45,000 to it, we get 255,000 as a number. Now what it tells us that from year 2015 to 2021, 420,000 people applied, and that's all hypothetical numbers that we were just talking about. And out of that, 255 or roughly, let's say 250,000 green cards were given. Now, clearly, we can see that retrogression starts to happen because each year, 30,000 people are not given green card and those are added to the queue. So that means at the end, still 165,000 people are left in the queue who have not been given green cards and still waiting for their green cards. And this is how I think this is one way to calculate arithmetic, or to calculate the retrogression. So what are the takeaways from here? The first takeaway is that, first of all, there are a lot of people from India who are applying for green cards, specifically in the employment based. And the plausible solution that I can see is that this 2020 to 2022 was an exception because there was pandemic, a lot of NVC applications were backed up, there was a lot of spillover from other countries, and that's why we were able to see 75,000 or more than those numbers to be given for EB. But that would not happen every year, right? And as things progress, that will basically, again, you'll go back to the same number. You might start only seeing 20,000 to 30,000 green cards given in EB category. So the first solution could be the increase of percentage of green cards given to each country. So right now, only 7% are given. So if you increase that to, let's say, 15%, 20%, or just take it out altogether, that would really help Indian citizens who are waiting for green cards in employment-based category. The other solutions that one can think of is probably the United States decides that, well, we'll increase the amount of green cards that are given per year. So let's say right now 140,000 green cards are given, but let's say the government says, no, let's increase that quota to 500,000, right? Because I think America works, a lot of people from India or China, they work in the tech. And if you see that a lot of people are waiting in the green card lines, and it's a very, very rough situation, because if let's say someone comes here in 2010 and then they wait for 20 years for their green card, that doesn't make sense, because they want to live, they want to enjoy their life freely and do things that they want to do without being tensed about the situation of getting a H1B stamped, traveling in and out and all that. So I think these are the two plausible solutions, and I am pretty hopeful that if you look at the numbers, it doesn't seem that there are no green cards given, only 10,000 given. It seems that there is a spillover, and around 30,000 green cards are generally given in the EB category. So hopefully the government will take some action. Hopefully the country quota would be removed, and if not, maybe the number of green cards given per year may be increased. from what it was set long back in the Immigration and Nationality Act. So I think the reform is definitely needed, and I hope you found this video very useful, where I tried to use the numbers or the actual data and try to do some math to come up and show you how retrogression works. So hopefully if you found this video useful, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please like the video. Please drop in the comment if you like the content, if you have any questions, and what are the other questions, or let's say what are the other topics you want me to cover. I'm also planning to do a live stream, and probably once I have more details about it, I'll post it on my LinkedIn. So you can go onto my LinkedIn, follow me there, or just drop in a message or a hi. I'd be very happy to chat with you. And yeah, have a wonderful weekend. Hope you have enjoyed this video, and please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video very soon.